Dave Marsh, iGolf TV, back once again. Now in my last video I introduced you to this system that I call the box. And I want to explain today how we use it and how this is going to dramatically affect the way you align and aim to the target. Now it's pretty simple, but what I've seen is the reason behind, and the reason I came up with this idea is I could use alignment sticks, I could use alignment rods when I was on the practice ground, but when I took my game to the golf course, I'd often begin to aim worse and worse and worse the longer the round went on. And what was interesting to me as well, depending on the style of the hole, the perception I had on how easy and how much the hole suited me really made such a huge difference to the way that I aimed. Once I noticed this in my own game, I then started to notice it even with players that were off scratch, even guys that were on tour, had terrible alignment at certain times on certain holes, which put them behind the black ball when it came to hitting a good shot. What we then noticed is when we used the quality of the box and we used the box to align them correctly, it gave them a much larger margin for error. And that basically is what I'm trying to teach in golf. The larger the margin for error, because you've worked on the right things, the easier it is to go out there and play consistent golf. So let me show you what I do with the box. So normally, I've got the golf ball there and I've got my target out in front of me, but I'm not 100% sure where I'm aiming, where the club face is aiming, and all these other things. But when I introduce the box into things, it's much more easy for me to set up correctly. So you can see here, what I do is I basically place the box about 2 inches right of the golf ball. Now there's a little bit of wind going around today, so I'm going to rest that club on top, the box nice and solid. Now what this does is, now when you look at it from this angle, when I place the club into position, there's just enough room for me to hit the ball out the center of the club, but I'm still not going to hit the box then. But now I'm using this line on the box as a phenomenal alignment aid. So I can now come behind my shot and I can line that box up to exactly the point that I want to hit that golf ball. Now, this is the really clever part, and it seems very simple, but it's unbelievably clever. I am now going to approach the golf ball not so much from the back, from behind here. I'm actually going to approach the golf ball from this angle here. So now it doesn't matter. I know that everything is set up correctly. Now when I walk into the shot, I'm aligning myself to this wall, if you like. Now when I set up, I am absolutely square onto my target. Now I can start to find out how good my golf swing is, as opposed to trying to manipulate it all the time. So I can set up from here and I can make a golf swing. Now I hit that right down my target. I can also get some phenomenal feedback from here. Number one, I know that I was aligned absolutely squarely. Because of the box being raised off the ground, it gives me a better visual impact to be able to turn the club back inside as opposed to going outside. So that's number one, something that I really like to build in the fundamentals of the swing. The next thing is I can actually let my swing just run free. No longer am I questioning, am I aiming correctly? Because I've already done the hard work back here and I've set the box up perfectly aligned at my target. The next thing that's phenomenal is I can check a much more solid divot path. If we come and look at the divot here, you can see that the divot is absolutely square to the line of the box. And that's such a massive thing. If the divot pattern improves, the shot pattern will also improve. Those two things go together. Now the work that I've done with aligning myself correctly, getting very non-manipulation style golf, which means I'm not trying to manipulate the club, I'm just letting the club swing free. All of these elements now are coming together, and the box just gives me this phenomenal template to continue to do this shot after shot. Obviously, the only thing that's really going to differ for me is when I've got the length of club, and then I'm going to stand further from the box. But if I was going to hit a driver down here, I'm using exactly the same setup. So this is just such a phenomenal system that I've come up with, that basically now I'm setting up very, very square all the time, and I'm just letting my swing go. And it's given me a new level of trust. And I mean, I want you to come and try this before you believe anything that I'm telling you. I've just seen it with players that I'm working with now and in my own game. I now know that I'm set up to the target perfectly. I can come in, I can get very square to that box. I don't even have to think about where I'm aiming, and then I can just pull the trigger from there. I mean, I have hit that ball exactly where I'm aiming. I don't need to show you that on camera. You don't need to see where the ball's going. I'm telling you, you begin to come and try these drills, you'll see so much spin taken off the ball, you'll see a different quality of flight, and the real reason is because we're not manipulating the shot so much. I've seen in my previous game how much I manipulated the shots, especially with the driver, whereas now I'm taking the box out onto the course and I'm playing a series a series of holes with it, and I'm setting the box up to very, very specific targets. And when you come and try this, you'll see what I mean exactly. And then I don't worry about what's down there, I just let the swing happen. This is the whole message that I want to get across to you. Now I'm going to do some more videos explaining how we can use the box even more, but this is the strongest message I want to get across to you. This system that I've developed is phenomenal. It's that simple. You get a box and take it out onto the golf course and check your alignment, check your aim. You're going to be developing a ridiculous consistency that you've never seen before, and I can't get that across to you more. Then, if we want to just rehearse our swing, we've got a great template to check our alignment. Boom. Golf is all about building in the correct way. I'm building a series of videos here showing you how to align your swing. The box is going to show you how to get some true magic out of your game. So this is video number 2 on the box, and I really want you to invest in this idea. Obviously you don't need to invest in a box, you can go and get one of those from anywhere. So listen to what I'm saying, take the time to actually experience and practice with this, and trust me, you'll see something completely different than you've ever seen before. I'm Dave Marsh, this is iGolf TV, we're waking up your game.